guys, welcome back to Mrs. Bacon's Fakin book. We're reading chapter 2 right now. What time is it? It's 9:06. So we're on chapter 2, the petting the zoo. Make sure you hit the like and the notification bell and subscribe. Okay, chapter 2, the petting zoo. A few minutes after these geese went back to class, turn to page 23 in your math book, said Mrs. Cooper, when the announcement came up over the loudspeaker. Mr. Cooper class, please report to room 303. Yay, no math! Mr. Cooper slammed the math book, closed the math book. Mr. Cooper slammed his math book closed. Room 303? Asked Ryan. What's that room 303? I never heard of room 303, said Adriana. And whatever. A little miss, it knows it all. Me either, said Emily. Who's the only? We only heard stuff that Rihanna heard of. We lined up as Pringles and we walked a million hundred miles to room 303. A sign over the door said band room. Oh yeah, that's where the band room. This is where they keep musical instrument. We have never been in there. Only the upper grades get to play the instrument. Okay, we looked around. The room was filled with drums, trumpets, and saxophones, and a lot other stuff. You hit or blow into, and you'll never believe who walked into that door that moment. Nobody. It would hurt if you walked into a door, but you'll never believe who walked into the doorway. It's our music teacher, Mr. Loring. More like Mr. Boring. He teaches us how to sing reasons. Songs like Row, row your boat. Mr. Loring is boring. He handed us our name tags for us to wear. Here's the joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? A little old lady. A little old lady who I didn't know could you'll be blah, 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 whatever. Are you the band teacher? Are you the band teacher too? Asked Adriana. No, said Mr. Loring. I'm the band-aid. We all giggled because Mr. Loring said he was a band-aid. I'm not here to introduce Miss Bacon, said Mr. Loring. Before she became the school band teacher, she was a construction. She drove trains, I asked. No, not that kind of construction, dumbhead, said Adriana. I was going to say something mean to Adriana, but I didn't have the chance because you'll never believe two popes. Here's the picture. Right there. her head into the doorway the moment nobody poked into the door that moment. Why would anybody poke in her head into the door if we didn't just go over that few paragraphs ago? But you'll never believe who poked her head into the doorway. It was Miss Bacon! Of course, who else could it be? Her name is right in the corner of the book. Miss Bacon. She's wearing an army uniform, holding a chopstick in her hand. We knew that. Chopstick in her hand. We all clap. What you do whenever somebody gets introduced. Why do you think Miss Bacon has a chopstick in her hand? Michael whispered to me, maybe she's going out for Chinese food after this. I whispered back. Thank you, Mrs. Bacon. I love music. I feel the passion of music in my soul. Playing music could heal the sick. At the end of the war, music can bring people together. It changes the world. Everybody loves music. Loves music, said Adriana. What is that brown noser? That's right, said Mrs. Bacon. It's the universal language. Does that mean on music, other planets on universe? I asked. It would be a surprise to me, said Mrs. Bacon. There is a Eunice? I asked. Everyone laughed because I said Eunice. At any time you want your friends to laugh, just in memorial, whatever that word is, Eunice. That first twirl of being a kid, everyone laughed except Adriana. Of course, she rolled her eyes. She started and waved her hand, trying to get a signal from a planet from a desert in an island. Mrs. Bacon called on her already. I know how to play an instrument, said Adriana. Take the violin lesson after school. That's wonderful, Adriana said. Mrs. Bacon. Adriana takes lessons everything after school. She takes no toe clipping. She takes that. So she could get it better. I thought you didn't improve for violins, I told Adriana. Not violins, Ardro. She means violins. I don't know, like, kind of word. Between violins or violins. I was just yawning. Adriana changed their words. Wait, welcome. My music party zoo. Mrs. Bacon, as a third grader, you can learn how to play instruments this year. When you get to the fourth grade, you may get to play it into the orchard. Isn't that exciting? Yes, shouted all the girls. No, shouted all the boys. Orchard school, they should call it. They should call it the Dorcular School. Dorcular School. Mrs. Bacon showed us a bunch of her instruments. She walked about each one. Did you know the saxophone was invented by a guy named Asico? It's true, I guess. The trumpet was invented by Donald Trump. Not that funny. Go ahead, try the instruments, Mrs. Bacon. That's why I call it the petting zoo. We pick up instruments and we start fooling around with Ryan. Tried to a big bass drum. Elmy tried the flute. Nell tried something called a joggerphone. It was weird. Do you know how to play all these instruments, Mrs. Bacon? Asked Henrietta. Of course, she replied. No way! She can play all those instruments? Whispered to Michael. I bet she can't play any of them. Yeah, Mrs. Bacon is fakin', he whispered back. Maybe it isn't a band teacher at all, I whispered. Did you ever think that maybe she kidnapped a real band teacher? That's what I heard, Mrs. Bacon. Would you like to prove that I can't play with these instruments, she asked. Yes, she shouted. Mrs. Bacon picked up a drum and stripped it to her back, attached it with a string on her foot so when she moves it, it'll hit the metal drum. When she attached something metal around her neck that has a arms though, a kangaroo drumstick out of it is right in front of her face. Then when she puts a circle on the top of her head, then she attacks the trumpet and rises it up on her one knee. Finally, she picked up a violin. That when the weirdest thing happened in the history of happened, Mr. Bacon played Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, using those instruments at the same time. It was amazing. Wow, we said. Is this your mom upside down? I can't play. I guess she can play all of instruments. Mrs. Bacon is weird. Chapter 3, Band Karate. Okay, we're going to stop there. Well, so tomorrow we're going to make another video about Mrs. Bacon is Fakin, Chapter 3.